Hi everyone, this is a very special and I think quite a unique pick a card reading from my end because I've never really done something like this to this extent. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a Pluto, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter and Mercury retrograde meanings for you reading today, and I'm going to let you know what you can look out for during these retrogrades, what it means for you, advice, ways to avoid certain obstacles and challenges that I may see for you. And it's really great because tarot can allow us to avoid certain obstacles and certain things that we could have, so I think that's a really interesting thing, and for sure definitely going to let you know which decks represent which planets, and that's how I've done it. So it's quite different in that sense. So here we've got Mercury, so this is this one. Now you can't actually see the stone for it, so if I just show you, it says here clarity. All right, and then we've got Jupiter, which is group number 2. So group number 1 is Mercury, group number 2 is Jupiter, then group number 3 here is Saturn, group number 4 is Venus, and then the last group here is Pluto. So we've got here Desire. So at this very point in time that I'm filming, these are the big retrogrades that, well, some of them here have actually opened up and these planets are in retrograde, and Mercury is still pending until June, but it's honestly not even that far away. So I thought I would include Mercury in the mix. Pluto retrograde has been happening since the end of April. These are the 3 big ones, especially in May, and they literally happen days apart from one another. But if you're watching this in the future, just note that these retrogrades do happen over a long period of time, especially the ones that, for example, are much further away. For example, Pluto, Saturn, and of course Jupiter are planets that are much further away. So they happen over the period of months and months, whilst these ones are shorter. So Venus and Mercury, because they're shorter, they're closer to Earth, they're shorter retrogrades. But just, in case you're watching this in the future, it can still apply. So I thought I would let you know that. And let's begin, right? Let's begin. But also, actually, I just want to mention as well, if you'd like to win a free reading with me, do check out the description box below, since I do a giveaway every single month. If you would like to purchase a private paid reading, information will also be down below as well. They're done within 24 to 48 hours. And the last thing I want to mention is that my intention bracelets are on Etsy, and I also have the retrograde bracelet on as well. There is a separate Mercury retrograde bracelet on my Etsy store. I'm also wearing the Evil Eye bracelet as well, just on the side. And these are handmade, they're meditated with, they're sage, they're there to remove obstacles and challenges from different areas of your life. If you want to see how these bracelets work and how other people have seen results of them, please do check out my Etsy shop. Link will be in the description box below. Free international shipping, and yeah, it's a vibe. And also I've got hand embroidered intention cards which can go under your pillow, in your wallet or your purse. There's so many different ones on there, jewellery, all that good stuff. So let's begin and see what is coming through. So I'm just going to make a little bit of space, and first of all we're going to start with Mercury. I just thought, why not? So just gonna move these to the side. We're almost there, I promise. All right, group number 1, you have chose the Mercury retrograde. So let's have a look and see what I can give to you in terms of important messages, information, and things that the spirit guides would like to tell you. So let's have a look and see. All right, so this is called Neo Tarot, for those of you that are wondering what the deck is called. And the other little message we have is Inspire. So we've got Clarity and we have Inspire. All right, so let's have a look. Let's do a 12 card spread and see what comes through. interesting. You got here the Six of Wands. Now, the Mercury retrograde is really known to bring through a lot of disruptions in terms of travel, technology, and communication. So, the Six of Wands is a traveling energy. So, if you are planning to travel during the period of really any retrograde, Mercury retrograde specifically, I think it's quite important to check to make sure that there are no delays, disruptions, and things like that. During the time that I'm filming this right now, there are lots of restrictions worldwide because of the whole health situation. So it's just something to keep in mind, is that if you are traveling, just be aware that maybe you could get stopped. Maybe you may be told to return back, you may be questioned. The thing is though, in June there's a lot of progression in regards to certain restrictions, but it's just something to be aware of because of course I'm doing a general reading and people live in different countries, so that's the thing. But I would definitely should I say, let you know that that is something that is coming through for sure. It's just checking before you travel and just making sure that especially if you can avoid disruptions, especially here in the UK, a lot of the times on radios they will announce if there is a road closure or there are trains that are not running, for example, or if there are broken down trains, things like that, and also flights and things like that. We get a lot of those updates, especially on the radio or in the what do you call it, online news. I was going to say the online newspaper. I mean, you know what I mean by that, right? Online news and things like that. So it's just about checking before you travel. You can avoid a lot of disruptions. You can avoid wasting, hours or wasting a whole day. I think that it's quite useful indeed. All right, so that's the first thing coming through with the Six of Wands. You got a lot of traveling energies, but guess what? This is also about people from your past returning into your life during a Mercury retrograde. It is extremely common that during this time people can come back into your life. They can make a re-entry, they can revisit, they could be like, surprise, I'm here, don't you want to talk to me? That kind of energy, right? I feel like this also resembles quite a bit of this clarity energy that we have, where they might want to apologize to you, they might want to be honest with you, they might want to tell you things from the past or how they felt, specifically in regards to things from the past, and just clear things up. This could be people that you were once very close with and then sort of communication just dropped out. This could be someone romantic because we have got the Knight of Wands, but there's this energy of them wanting to give you clarity and also them wanting to, I guess in many ways as well, just make it up to you, if that makes sense. Like, that's definitely something that's coming through quite strong. And again, you've got the Knight of Pentacles, so it can be romantic, but this can also be family members and friends as well, because it's that earth energy. So that's what we've got there. Justice, interesting, because justice is all about clarity. So I feel during specifically this Mercury retrograde, and actually retrogrades in general, to be honest, Mercury retrogrades in general, I feel like it gives you a lot of space to really think about yourself. And I think that it also just makes you feel like, all right, how can I be better at certain things? How can I be better at communication? How can I be better at my work? How can I be better at my craft? How can I be better in terms of just things, perhaps it's things around the house or your personal life. Like, I definitely feel that during the Mercury retrograde, because it can be at times very overwhelming and very intense, it does make you think. And I think more than anything, it inspires you as well. So not only do you get a lot of clarity and it makes you understand a lot of these things that are happening specifically in your life and also experiences that you've had previously, but I also feel it inspires you and it makes you think about, okay, how can I do this better? Okay, so this Mercury retrograde is hard on me in terms of, perhaps things breaking all the time. For example, technology, oh my gosh, havoc. Okay, I'm just going to let you know, Mercury retrogrades and technology, they just don't go hand in hand. You may find that things freeze or that your Wi-Fi suddenly, is just cutting in and out. Things like that can really happen during a retrograde. So it inspires you to find different ways. It inspires you also, I feel, to at times also be gentle as well, not just with yourself, but maybe also others. I definitely feel that it's a very inspiring retrograde. I know that it doesn't seem like it because it seems more like a headache, but I definitely feel through troubles and not so great times, or not so great day, should I say, that you find a lot of ways around things. So you find solutions to problems. And that's what I see, especially for this retrograde, is that you're going to be finding a lot of solutions, and you're going to find ways to deal with a lot of this heavy energy. It can feel very heavy, but you're going to find solutions. And I think that's really, really wonderful, right? It's a bit like, okay, I don't really like the fact that this is happening, or the fact that my phone has frozen, but I'm going to find a way around it, you know, and I'm going to go with the retrograde rather than go against it. And not have resentment. I think the retrogrades definitely teach us a lot, and I feel like Mercury retrograde also teaches a lot, especially in regards to communication. And yes, it can make you feel sensitive, but it's also going to give you a lot, I feel. Judgment. Oh, your decision-making skills during this retrograde. Let's have a look, actually. Queen of Pentacles, yeah. I think that during this retrograde, you may be making big decisions. You may make just big decisions in regards to your career. You may make big decisions in regards to love, because we have got the Two of Cups here. There is definitely something coming through in regards to big, bold decisions. And that's something that I'm just seeing over and over again. I really do feel that this retrograde is, in many ways, it's going to open you up and really make you, I feel, much more observant in regards to other people and also companies and decisions. This retrograde is also going to allow you to also feel more confident, you know, because I think also with this whole health situation, the fact that the Mercury retrograde literally happens in June, where things are getting a little bit better, right? Slowly but surely things are becoming a little bit better. It's going to make you realise, well, wow, you know, we are all in the same boat. Even people that are really, you know, really well off, or people that have you know, incredible careers or an incredible life that we see, for example, on social media, like something like this makes us all in the same boat. We are all human beings at the end of the day. And I think that it's also going to give you so much more confidence, where you're going to think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to do what I set out to do. I'm not going to be afraid to communicate my feelings, my thoughts. If I want to send an email, you know, to collaborate with someone, or a job application, I'm not going to be afraid. You know, I'm going to believe in my talent. I'm going to believe in my skill. I'm going to believe in myself. And I feel, again, that you're going to feel very, very inspired. And this retrograde will give you so much clarity to further yourself and also further your career and further your own personal goals, achievements and dreams. And I think that's so, so beautiful. You are going to feel like, you know what? We're all equal. And also at the same time, judgment here shows that you're going to make some big, big decisions. Really big decisions. Now, technically during the Mercury retrograde, it's said that it's best not to make huge life-changing decisions during that time. Things like moving houses, or, for example, chasing people and trying to initiate commitment and things like that during a Mercury retrograde. It's best to let the other person do that towards you, because, you know, we have got the overlap of the Venus retrograde with the Mercury retrograde, so it's best to let other people come to you during this time. Of course, you can communicate back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, oh, don't communicate with anyone. I'm just saying more so let them come to you in terms of pursuing, or in terms of making first moves. I think it's best for other people to do that, but big decisions can oftentimes be delayed during a Mercury retrograde. But I do see you here making big decisions in regards to, you know, career, and perhaps putting in that application that maybe you always wanted to put in, or thinking more so about your future and your dreams. I think you're going to feel very, very inspired, and you may make big decisions in regards to certain things, which, by the way, is okay, right? But also, there are some things, for example, if you're willing or looking to move houses and things can just be a little bit delayed. That's what I'm seeing. Big decisions, things can be delayed. Not that anything would go drastically wrong, I feel, but it can just be delayed. That's it. You know, that's what I'm seeing there, especially with the Queen of Pentacles. So a bit more of a waiting sort of energy. I do see here someone from your past coming back. Look, this can be an ex. Whether you want this person back or not, I feel like they're going to be sending you a random message. And I really do feel, again, whether you don't like this person or you like this person, whether you want to reconnect with this person or you don't, that's completely your choice. But there is someone here that wants to connect with you. Now, granted that, you know, for some of you, you already have someone in your life right now, and I feel that that connection can also get much, much stronger during the period of the Mercury retrograde, but let them come to you. Again, I think that's a very, very important message, but there's definitely also on the flip side, there's someone here that's going to be coming to you, I feel, as well, romantically. And also, on the other hand, there can be friends, family members from the past that also want to reconnect as well and may just send you a little message. So for some of you, it could be all three. For some of you, it could be two of these. For some of you, it could just be one of these, right? But that's what I'm seeing, because everyone's, you know, on different pages, on different spectrums, should I say. And this is a general reading, but it's what I'm seeing, and it's a big energy, I'm not going to lie. So, yes, that is what we have. Okay, so let's continue. Mercury, Mercury, Mercury. Oh, wow. Okay. So during the Mercury retrograde, we of course have the Jupiter retrograde as well, and the Wheel of Fortune has come through. So I feel like the Wheel of Fortune here is really just trying to emphasize that things are going to get better for you. I'm not going to lie, all right, this year has been hard. It has been really, really hard for a lot of people, but I want you to know that the year is not over. I feel like a lot of people are already cancelling 2020, and I know it's so easy to do, you know, because it has been a really hard year. But the year is not over. And the thing is, I remember back in 2019 as well, getting to the end of 2019, everyone was just wanting 2020, and they were like, 2020 is going to be the best year. And you know what? 2020 is still, we've still got a long way to go. But of course, the beginning portion of 2020 was difficult for so many people, and it still is. But the thing is, the year is not over. I think it's also very important not to just want to jump ahead to another year. I think that's something that 2019, at the end of 2019, a lot of people wanted to do. They just wanted to jump to the next year. And I think that it's also important for us to, you know, live in the moment and live through it. I think that's also very important. So the Wheel of Fortune here is really showing that, you know, your present moment impacts also your future, but try not to let it define your future, right? That's the most important thing, is that in the present, yes, we can be dealing with difficult things, or we may be dealing with really nice things, but also, yes, that can have some form of an impact, you know, in terms of how things progress, but you shouldn't let it define you. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that things are going to get better, but if things are really difficult right now, don't let it define your entire future. Don't let it define the entire year. Everything that's happened so far, like, yes, it's really hard, but don't let it define everything, because things will get better. And it's also to do with the mindset as well. The Mercury retrograde here is really trying to push things forward. Now, in regards to the whole health situation, of course, things have gone very, very backwards, right? Economy, terrible. Health situation and health in general, not good, right? So when retrogrades happen and things are already going backwards on Earth, what does it do? It pushes things forwards. I know, it's crazy, and I'll talk about this also in the Pluto retrograde reading as well, and I feel like it's so important for you to watch the Pluto retrograde reading just because of that, because the Pluto retrograde happened at the end of April when things were really, really difficult in regards to a lot of aspects in the world, right? And it could have been really difficult for you as well in April, but as soon as that Pluto retrograde happened, things started to get a little bit better, and that is how astrology also links to our lives. And I really feel that, you know, this Jupiter retrograde, when Mercury retrograde happens, and also everything that will be happening in the world, is just going to push things further forward, right? So the economy, slowly but surely, will get to a much, much better place. People will start to become much more stable in regards to jobs, or even applying and getting new jobs and things like that, all right? So the Mercury retrograde here is pushing job prospects and allowing for much more positivity in those areas, which I also think is super, super positive and really lovely to see. All right, so things are going to get better. Remember, this year is still, we have a long way to go, and we still have time, all right? So don't let all of this define you, should I say. You can't let your past define you. It's only what we do in the present, and yeah. So, star card, make a wish. Make a wish right now. What do you wish for in the Mercury retrograde? You know, do you wish for good communication? Do you wish for less challenges and obstacles in regards to perhaps things breaking, or Wi-Fi, or, you know, what do you wish for? Make a wish at this very point in time. You can pause the video if you want. Have you made your wish? Ace of Pentacles, there you go. There's another wish card. I feel that this retrograde, yes, it can still be really, really crazy. But if you look at these cards, you'll see that actually there is this element of you feeling so much more clarity through this retrograde and feeling much more inspired during this retrograde. Why? Because things are getting a little bit better. Because things have already been so difficult that when a retrograde comes, how much more backwards is a retrograde going to take it? It does the opposite. It actually takes things much more forwards. And I know that's crazy. But it also allows us to look at things in a much more clear way. It inspires us. I know. I didn't think I would be ever talking about a Mercury retrograde as being inspiring, but hey. But I'm also not trying to sell you a fantasy here, because I do know that yes, you can have troubles in terms of travel, technology and communication. You know, yes, you can have those troubles, but it's how you deal with them. And that's the thing. Patience. Patience is the way to deal with these crazy, crazy retrogrades that can be so frustrating. Empress. So again, you know, I would definitely recommend you to check out the Pluto, the Jupiter and the Venus retrograde readings for sure in this particular video. Alright, so yeah, as I mentioned, you got here the Empress. Empress is ruled by Venus, so again we see someone returning from the past. This is also about a lot of self-love that I feel you're going to have for yourself. I definitely feel that one of the best things you can do during this time of the Mercury retrograde is just be really gentle with yourself. Put yourself on the pedestal, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and really try not to chase and pursue, especially if there are connections that are super imbalanced or unstable. Best thing you can do. And as I mentioned, I'm not trying to sell you a fantasy with this Mercury retrograde, because look what we have right here. We have the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is about challenges and obstacles, but you know what else the Seven of Wands is about? It's about not giving up. Do not give up. You will get through this, but also it's not too bad. You're learning so much. I think that it's really going to inspire you. I do see here also during this Mercury retrograde a wish coming true, and I see here people from your past wanting to reconnect with you as well. And whether you want to or not, that's your choice, but don't give up. That's the thing. All right, so these are some pretty big messages, I have to say. So this is your reading. Mercury. All right, so now we're going to move on to Jupiter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these to the side. All right, so Jupiter, the Jupiter retrograde. Let's have a look and see what is coming through, and also what it means for you, what messages we have, etc, etc. All right, so this is the deck that we have, and of course we know that Jupiter is all to do with success, abundance, wealth. Oh yes, oh yes. So we've got that right here, and then we've also got this one which says hope. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to do a 12 card spread and we'll see what's coming through. Interesting. Okay, so Jupiter. Now, this Jupiter retrograde, I feel, is just going to... Oh my gosh, wow. We've got the World card as well. And the World card is ruled by Saturn. So I definitely feel that there's a message here telling you to definitely check out the Saturn retrograde reading as well. But wow, this is about you feeling much more confident. I know, it's crazy to think that a retrograde could actually bring that out somehow, but I really do see that. We've also got the Chariot. Interesting, interesting. We've got the Knight of Wands. Four of Wands. Wow. Okay, I feel like I want to shuffle the rest of the cards out here, because that is very, very specific. I see here more stability for you. I see you feeling more at one with yourself. And just like this says here, hope, I feel like you're going to find a lot of hope. You're going to feel like your wings have just grown, like you're invincible, like you can do anything you want to do. And that's a big message. That's huge. Oh, we just got a card that fell into my drawer. 8 of Swords. Okay, interesting. Now, I just want to shuffle all the rest of the cards out, because I feel like in this reading, everything is just going to relate from one to the other. We've got here the Star, Ace of Wands. We'll leave these 4 for the top row, but I'm going to take the card at the bottom of the deck, which is, oh my gosh, wow, Empress. All right, so there's 2 big messages here that are really saying, make sure you also check out the Saturn retrograde reading and also the Venus retrograde reading. We've also got here the 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. Wow, this is amazing. 8 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles. That's so crazy. You've got the 6, 7, 8, and 9. I mean, I definitely shuffled these cards before. I mean, you can see that here as well. They've definitely been shuffled, but that's just insane. We've got like a full-on line and a progression here that I'm seeing. So if anything, this retrograde here is really going to give you a lot of hope. It's going to allow you to feel like, you know what, I can do one thing to another, to another, to another. I will get to where I want to be. And essentially that in tarot is literally the 10 of Pentacles, right? And the 10 also is the Wheel of Fortune in the major arcanas. And so this Jupiter retrograde, and the Wheel of Fortune, by the way, is ruled by Jupiter. So the 10s, especially the 10 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune, is just so strong here, because it shows that you will get to that, right? But during this retrograde, you're at least going to get to the 9, and the 9 is about independence and confidence. And I do feel that there is going to be this, like during the Jupiter retrograde, you may feel at times a little bit all over the place. You may feel like, okay, I have hope, you know, because the Star is about hope and it is about a wish, and you will get to where you want to be. I know this sounds so confusing, but I feel like you're going to feel this way during the actual Jupiter retrograde. Is that at first, you know, you'll just try and be as stable as you can. You will try and find abundance. You will try and manifest as much as you can, especially with this Ace of Wands, in terms of your goals, in terms of your dreams, in terms of perhaps even your career, or for those of you in education, you're going to try and manifest, and you'll try and do as much as you can. And then the 7 of Pentacles here shows you reflecting upon what you have done. Now remember, the Jupiter retrograde happens over the course of months, right? So this is not just a simple, like, okay, in a month, you know, everything is just perfect and great and abundant. This is a step-by-step process in which you are going to be finding your wings, in which you are going to be finding yourself being so much more hopeful than hopeless. Say that in the comment section down below. I am hopeful, not hopeless. I think that's such a great affirmation. I am hopeful, not hopeless. Wow, I feel like I've had an awakening through this reading just with that affirmation. See, the 8 of Swords here shows feeling stuck. When this Jupiter retrograde starts, you may feel really stuck. You may feel hopeless, right? And then towards when this Jupiter retrograde ends, I think that you're going to have this fire and this passion and this desire and just so much more than you could have hoped for. I really feel like you're going to do a lot of manifesting. I feel like you're going to, you know, put everything, you know, especially at the beginning, you're going to feel like, wow, okay, great, I don't feel great, but I need to be doing what I need to do, right, in terms of career and things like that. And you might just be, you know, giving and doing and things like that. And then you might be reflecting and thinking, actually, you know what, I need to do things for myself. Now, during this course of the Jupiter retrograde, you may even change your career path. You may change certain things that just don't serve you, fulfill you. You might not be happy with how much you're getting paid, or with perhaps your career path and how much it has the potential to give you. You might change that completely. You might set up your own business, because this here, the 8 of Pentacles, is about self-discovery. This is about you doing what you've been doing, right? You've been giving, you've been getting back. 6 of Pentacles, you know, it's about that balance. And then the 7 here is about reflecting and thinking, actually, does that suit me? Does that serve me? And I think that's what you're going to be doing throughout the course of this retrograde. You're going to think, actually, does this really suit me? Does this really serve me? Is this truly what I want in life? And then what's going to happen is you are going to go down a path and you're going to be like, actually, no, you know, I'm going to set up my own business, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And this is self-discovery at its finest, which then brings you more success. And that is essentially this progression that I'm seeing here for you. You're going to feel from hopeless to hopeful. And I hope that you still, even at this time, you feel hopeful, because for a lot of you, it's very, very challenging times in terms of career, in terms of money, in terms of, well, finances, right? And stability can be really hard. And the Empress here, of course, shows that very, very strong Venus energy, which is really to do with a lot of progression, and it's to do also with a lot of motivation and success. We've got a lot of that. We've got a lot of that energy, like literally here, which I think is nice. I do think that that's quite nice. Yeah, that is what we have. I mean, you know, the Empress here is about sitting on your throne, and it's about you feeling confident within yourself, which, by the way, you will get to. You may feel really confused right now. You may feel a little bit all over the place right now, but you will find yourself. And remember, it is a process, and it is a process of your finances getting better, your career being on track to where you want it to be. It's different for everyone. That's the thing. But the Empress here definitely shows you feeling on your throne, sitting on your throne, and really feeling yourself and your ideas. I feel like you're also going to gain a lot of creativity throughout the course of this retrograde. This retrograde goes on 4 months. So imagine, you know, during all of this time, you're going to be finding yourself, you're going to be finding your wings, you're going to be moving forward, progressing. I see here also travel for you in the future as well. The World card again shows travel as well. So this is a Chariot, but it also shows forward movement and progression. You're not going backwards, you're going forward. So even if, right, you feel like you're going backwards here, you're actually going forwards, right? Because the Six of Pentacles, as, you know, great and stable as it can be, you're going to reflect, and you may feel like you're going backwards, right, with the 7 and the 8 of Pentacles, but actually you're going forwards. You're going towards the 10, and that is the absolute abundance. That is this, right? Real, true abundance, and that's the big thing. It's a bit like the bow and the arrow, right? The bow has to get pulled back. No, sorry, the arrow has to get pulled back, and it may feel like, oh no, I'm going backwards. You know, where am I? You know, with this 8 of Pentacles, oh my God, this territory, what is it? This is not great. But actually, then you let go, and the bow goes even further than where it was before. That's the thing. So that is what I'm seeing. I mean, the Knight of Wands there also shows here that you're only going forwards, and this retrograde is in a way, it's pulling you back to go forwards. That's the thing. And so is this Four of Wands, is it's giving you so much more. It's giving you more stability, it's giving you more happiness, it's giving you more independence, it's giving you more finances. It's pulling you back to take you forward, and that is what we're seeing. All right, so that is the Jupiter retrograde messages for you. Now we're going to move on to Saturn. All right, so I'm just going to take away these little stones. Sorry, we're actually going on to Venus, wrong planet. We are going to Venus. Da-na-na-na-na. Okay, let me just make a little correction here. There we go. I've just got an extra card here from another deck. Let's just put that right there. There we go. All right, so Venus, let's have a look and see what is coming through, and also what messages I can give to you for the Venus retrograde. And yeah, let's have a look. So I've got here the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck. We've also got here Faith and love. Interesting messages for sure. So let's see what's coming through here for the Venus retrograde and the messages I can give to you for it. Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, Nine of Wands. Okay, I think that during the Venus retrograde, you're going to do a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting. The Venus retrograde happens from May the 13th to June the 25th, so you may do a lot of reflecting, a lot of thinking, a lot of wondering, pondering, and contemplating. Interesting, right? So I definitely feel that you're gonna think a lot. To be honest, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I definitely feel that you're going to think a lot about love. You're going to think a lot about relationships, connections, even with certain specific people. The Ace of Wands here really does show that you may be really, really drawn to communicate with certain people. You may just have these sudden urges that you just want to reach out to someone, and you know, I would be careful. I will tell you that I will be careful, because this can make certain people get a little bit more withdrawn, especially if you're in a connection or you're dealing with someone that is so hot and cold or so all over the place. The best thing is to let them come to you, and for you to just be patient in that sense, but also to focus on yourself and put yourself first, right? That's the Queen of Wands. This is about nourishing yourself first before you try and nourish others, if that makes sense. It's really about putting yourself first. And I think that's the most important thing to do, because sometimes you may always be putting other people first before you, and especially during a Venus retrograde, it can just make things go more backwards for you and your emotions, and you may just feel really unappreciated and not good. So the best thing is to, especially if you have unstable or unbalanced connections with certain people, whether that is in love or friendships or family, it's just so important to let them also make moves rather than you always trying to do so. I just think that that's really quite important in many ways. So that is one of the best things to do. I'm just saying, because I don't want you to feel upset and I don't want you to feel not good, right? So this is really about putting yourself on the pedestal and letting the divine do things for you, right? I feel like you're someone that's just done so much for others, where, you know, now you can take any issues you have in regards to love, put it at the feet of the divine and say, you know what, I abandon this at your feet, you know, and let the universe do things, rather than constantly feeling like maybe you're chasing and things like that. During the Venus retrograde, it's just so important to put yourself first, otherwise Venus will literally find a way to put you first. That's the thing, right? So Nine of Cups here shows lots of wishes, lots of thinking. You may feel very, very wishful. Again, this is an energy that is about you having faith. You may have a lot of faith during this time, but then that faith can also push you to perhaps communicate with certain people. And it's okay to communicate with certain people. It's perfectly, perfectly fine. But if you find you're chasing someone, right, then that is when things can go backwards. I'm just saying. Princess of Wands, King of Cups. You're going to find yourself becoming emotionally a lot stronger. You're going to find you're going to find yourself saying to yourself, wow, you know what? I have actually been through quite a bit and I haven't had the easiest times, but I'm stronger. I'm so much stronger than I realised. That's the kind of energy that I see here for you, where you're just going to feel so much stronger. You're going to feel so much more confident. You're going to feel really uplifted in many ways. And I think that that's a very, very positive energy. If anything, I think that that's a really strong place to place yourself. So you're definitely going to become emotionally a lot more stronger during this Venus retrograde. I think because you're going to really be quite hopeful, and you're going to have a lot of faith in terms of love, and I think that you're going to think about it quite a lot. Even the Princess of Wands literally shows that. It shows you having a lot of faith, having a lot of trust, and the Chariot here shows that in many ways you're going to think to yourself like, okay, it's all right, you know, things will be okay. And I want you to know that, because the energy from this Venus retrograde, spirit guides are really saying that things are going to be okay. And I know that's such a vague and such a typical thing to say, like, oh, how do I say this? It's like such a cliche thing, right? But I really do feel that good things are coming your way, but the Venus retrograde is about putting yourself first. The thing is also with love and even goals and dreams where you feel like, oh my God, I'm chasing this goal and I'm getting nowhere, or I'm chasing this passion and I'm getting nowhere. It's really also about making sure that you put yourself first. That can create such a big energy shift and an energy transfer to the point where if you're constantly chasing something, it can be so tiring and so draining. The minute you let go and you just detach a little bit and you say to the universe, you know what, I will let you take care of this. That is when things can change, things can shift, things can progress in so many exceptionally different ways. And so that's really about, letting the universe take you on this ride, letting them do it for you. That's, I think, quite important. And it can be frustrating. It can be very, very frustrating at times to maybe not get your own way, but just know that the universe has big plans for you. Have faith. Ta-da! Have faith. I'm telling you. The Fool. We got so much pink in this particular spread. When you kind of look at it from the outside and you've got this very black black tarot deck, it's like, whoa, that's really dark for Venus, but actually it's all in the details. It's all in the details. The Fool. There's still so much more to come, and I feel like this Venus retrograde is going to just give you so much hope and confidence within yourself. As I mentioned, putting yourself first and even doing things that perhaps make you feel more mindful, like reading a book or journaling, yoga, meditation, prayer. These things can help you focus more so on yourself and take energy away from things that are perhaps really, really difficult. Okay, wow, we just got a bunch of cards. We've got one that just sort of fell on the edge there. Almost, it kind of fell in between my blanket and the drawer. We've got the Seven of Wands, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, we've got here the King of Pentacles and also the Two of Cups. And whoa, and whoa, and whoa, I'm just saying, and whoa. Emperor, interesting, right, that the Emperor is the counterpart to the Empress, and the Empress in tarot is actually ruled by Venus. We've also got here the King of Swords as well. So 3 kings. Now, if you put yourself first, like that Queen of Wands does, and you nourish yourself and you put a lot of emphasis into yourself, guess what we see happening? We see here someone here pursuing you, someone coming forward. There's some communication that I'm seeing with this triangle. Interesting that I'm seeing a triangle, because for some of you, not all of you, you may be in a triangle, quite literally in a triangle, but I do see here you being pursued. See the Emperor here, because I would see you as the Empress. Now, whether you're male or female, remember I read energies in tarot, not specifically genders. I see you as an Empress, and so I'm seeing here there's another person, right? Another person communicating with you. But it's only if you put yourself first and you really try and detach as much as you can and really just put emphasis on yourself and focus on yourself. Say to yourself, I am beautiful, I am confident, I am smart, I am independent, I am me, right? I am me. I am love. I am love. I am faith. Why not? And Seven of Wands shows that it can be really difficult at times to focus on you, but Venus wants you to do that more now than ever before. This really is about you, and the more you put energy and love and focus into yourself, the more I see here this brand new chapter opening up where you're being pursued by someone, right? But it's not just someone. This is someone that really wants to take things further with you, that wants to progress with you. And for some of you, you may be dealing with people that are super hot and cold. You may be dealing with connections, or you may be in a relationship where things are a little bit all over the place. They just need some time as well for themselves. So on the flip side, what you can do is put energy and love into yourself. This also strengthens the other person, of course, being your counterpart, where they can also find that strength and confidence in themselves as well. And I think that's quite important in many ways. So that is what we are seeing right there. Ta-da! But yeah, being pursued. See, communication here is quite strong. Emotions here also being expressed from one to the other. This is also you feeling strong in that element, but also the other person feeling strong here as well. I do see someone else. Now, if you're single, right, and you're thinking to yourself, Moonlight, there really is nobody around here, I do see eventually that there is someone that's going to come into your life, and that there is someone that's going to really give you a lot of communication, but be on the same page as you. So it's really important to be on that page first as well, right? And to really put yourself first and to feel that strength and independence and confidence. And then someone will be able to come in and match that. And rather than you feeling like you have to pursue. Remember, the Two of Cups here is about really being on the same page. It's the same wavelength. It's the same kind of vibrational frequency, and someone giving you essentially what you want, not just you chasing and chasing and chasing. So it's really time to take a step back and to put yourself first, and that is what the Venus retrograde energies is all about. It's really about putting yourself on the pedestal. I think that's so crucial and so important for sure. Alright, so that is your reading, and now we're going to move on to Saturn. Alright, so this is the time for you. Truly, truly is. Oh my gosh. If anyone is wearing headphones, I do apologise. That hurt my ears. I can't imagine what it did for you. I'm so sorry. Alright, Saturn, let's have a look and see what is coming through for the retrograde. Saturn retrograde, should I say. I feel like it was group number 4. Let's see what's coming through for you for the Saturn retrograde. Alright, so we've got this beautiful deck right here. We've got here the message of strength, and we've also got here the message of peace, which before I just started the timestamp for this, that message actually, the little, what do you call it? I guess it's the rock, right? It fell and it made a really loud noise. But hopefully, you know, when we see peace, it will mean peace rather than really abrupt, loud sounds. Alright, so let's get started. Let's see what messages we have for you for the Saturn retrograde. Group number 4. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, Page of Pentacles. Wow, look at that peacock there. So one thing for sure that I'm really seeing is that the Saturn retrograde is going to allow you to build a lot more of a structure and a routine in your life. It's going to make you really think about your past, because Saturn is also to do with karma, and I really do feel that you may think back to your past, but then you also look back to your future, and I think you're going to really, your present. Yeah, so you look at your past and then you also look at your present and you'll think to yourself, wow, you know, I've come a long way. You're going to do a lot of reflection, and I think that also you're going to find a lot of peace in that reflection as well, where you're going to think, you know what, okay, things may not always be perfect and things may not have been perfect, but I definitely feel a lot of confidence, and I feel a lot of strength, and I feel a lot of joy, and I feel a lot of happiness in this current moment, based on where I once was. And I really do feel here that the Two of Pentacles here shows a balance, where you're really going to try and find a balance in your personal life, your professional life. You're going to try and put in a structure, a routine, and do things for yourself. And I definitely feel like you're going to feel stronger than ever. Now, the Saturn retrograde is about making sure that you do put yourself first. If you are constantly focusing on other people and other things, or really, comparing yourself to others, then the Saturn retrograde will put in some pretty big lessons, and at times can put in some really harsh lessons so that you don't do that, essentially, and it can really put you in your place. So I just want to mention that now is really the time for you to put emphasis on yourself and your structure and your own personal routine, your goals, your dreams, and to find peace within yourself as much as possible. One thing that's really coming through is mindfulness. If you can do that, that is one of the best things to do. Now, you're probably wondering, you know, maybe what that means. That's just doing different things that make you feel really present in your own energy. For example, meditation, yoga, journaling, prayer. Those are all different forms of mindfulness that can be so positive and very, very uplifting. And guess what they all have in common? Not only does it give you a lot of peace, but it can also build you a lot of strength within yourself. And I think that's a really, really lovely thing. So the Saturn retrograde is all about building your own personal routine and your own personal structure, you know, even day to day, you know, how your routine is. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you perhaps eating as well as you would like to be? How are you feeling with your routine? Are there changes that you can make? And remember, the Saturn retrograde happens for a very, very long period of time, you know. pretty much goes through majority of this year, to be honest. So it's a long retrograde, and during that time you're slowly but surely going to realize, like, okay, you know, how is my structure, how is my routine, what little changes can I make in it, right? Especially from this 2 to the 3 here shows progression in your routine. You know, how are you also working with others? How is your routine impacting how you feel around others, but also how you feel within yourself and your goals and your dreams, and how does it make you feel? Because 3s in tarot are also about karma. So remember, what you have in terms of your routine and how much sleep you're getting also impacts, in turn, how you feel within, for example, other areas of your life. Remember, what goes around comes around. So for example, if you don't get enough sleep, it's pretty self-explanatory that, you know, you may not feel good during the rest of the day. You may feel really tired or just unmotivated or demotivated. So again, it's just about putting yourself first and putting structure and organisation into your routine. None of these cards are coming out. So let's see what else we got. Three of Wands. Okay, it's also about being patient. You don't need to do everything all at once. It's about little things, changing one little thing here and there if you feel specifically. I mean, I'm not telling you that you have to change everything or you have to change specific things. I think naturally you're going to realise this through the retrograde. You might just, again, if I just take the example of sleep, for example, you might think, oh, you know, maybe I should just get, you know, a couple of extra hours of sleep, or maybe 3 or 4. Depends how much, you know, everyone's different. But again, the 3s here show lessons, and it shows here karma, and it really shows here that your routine really impacts your life and how you feel towards other things, and perhaps even your career. So that is what we have. 4 of Cups, okay, very interesting. We've also got here the 2 of Cups. We've got here the 3 of Cups. Look at all these 3s, right? Now, 2 to the 3 also shows that this can impact, you know, romantic relationships, and also how you feel there. Oh, actually, 2 to the 3 to the 4. That's interesting. Ta-da! This here shows, you know, a lot of progression, and it also shows at times during this retrograde you may feel perhaps a little bit disheartened in regards to making a certain structure, certain routine. This really is about putting yourself first, and again, mindfulness, you know, really doing things for yourself. For this person reading a book, that's also a form of mindfulness. Putting yourself first is the most important thing. And then when you do that, you'll find that things really start to open up for you. 3 of Cups is also about celebration. The 2 of Cups also is about love and happiness and really good interactions and having balance also within yourself and your own emotions. So by doing these things and putting yourself first and building a good structure and routine, you're allowing essentially good karma to come your way, right? Otherwise, things become very, very toxic. The Devil is ruled by Capricorn, and when I actually think about this card, I think about the fact that it has a very strong tie to Saturn, right? So if you really don't put yourself first and you really don't, you know, feel good about your routine, or you're always tired and things like that, it can become very, very toxic very, very quickly. So different forms of mindfulness and really just doing things for you can bring you really good karma, and it can help you essentially get rid of the devil. Shoe devil, shoe. And that is what we're seeing, right? It can bring you happiness in terms of more social. It can bring you happiness in terms of perhaps even not dealing with third-party situations, right? When you put yourself first and you focus on yourself, it actually strengthens this. And it strengthens, again, your good karma as well. So it's just something to keep in mind. Otherwise, it becomes very, very toxic, and you sort of get stuck in this cycle. And we don't like cycles, right? To the point where you just feel like, okay, it's the same thing over and over again. And we want to break those toxic cycles. Oh yeah, look at that. We want to break those toxic cycles. Death. See, this is also about big transformations. And I definitely see here that you're going to go through a big transformation where you're going to go from death to rebirth. You're going to go from, you know, this energy of sort of maybe at times feeling like, wow, okay, this really doesn't serve me, to then suddenly having strength, or maybe not taking as much time for yourself, to then suddenly actually giving yourself a lot of time and having a lot more peace. So it's putting yourself first, right? So 8 of Swords, this can be you right now, maybe not feeling so great within yourself or within the things that are happening around you, but then actually I do feel that you're going to take that blindfold off and do much more for yourself. See, 9 of Wands, potential and progress. Okay. Essentially, if you don't feel good in your routine and you don't change it, it's just going to lead you to more of the 8 of Swords and more of the Devil card here. And of course, death, you know, it just doesn't make you feel good. And it just makes you feel more trapped and trapped and trapped. Whereas you can change it, you can change this, you can go from death to rebirth, and also there can be more solid potential growth and progression, which is also very healthy as well at the same time. Ta-da! Okay. Last card is the Hanging Man. Ooh, Neptune energy. All right, so this shows peace, it shows mindfulness, and it also shows spirituality. Diving into spirituality during the time of any retrograde is a very, very positive thing, but also for Saturn, huge, right? Because that helps you to be more mindful. Meditation, doing prayer beads, doing listening to subliminal music is actually a form of you doing mindfulness at the same time. So this can give you more strength and more peace and really just make you feel better as well. And that's also to do with spirituality and also your dreams and your goals. And the more well-rested you are as well, the better you will feel towards these things. So that is your reading for group number 4, Saturn, the Saturn retrograde and messages to do with it. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below how it resonated. And if you found any specific messages that really just ring true to you, let me know. And now we're going to move on to group number 5, Pluto. All right, so just put this to the side. All right, group number 5, Pluto. Interesting, your timestamp is 5555. That is pretty exciting. All right, so these are messages for the Pluto retrograde that you need to know. So we've got believe and we've got desire. Now, the Pluto retrograde actually started right at the end of April, and it goes on for a very, very, very long period of time. One thing for sure is that it was meant to happen. I just can't get over the fact that, your group number 5 and then your timestamp is 5555. I just feel like that was just meant to be. Again, this is about the fact that you are in the right place that you are meant to be in, and I know that sometimes that can feel like such an overwhelming thing, like how moonlight is that even possible? But you know what, I really do feel that this Pluto retrograde is bringing some big transformations. Pluto is also got that very strong Scorpio energy tied to it, so it is, even Scorpio is about intense transformations, and I really do see that here as well. Oh my gosh, look at this, look on my phone. I can see it on my device, I can see the time. But look at that right there. It is 11:11. Oh yes it is. So it means that you're on the right path. Even 11:11 means that you're on the right path in your life. So let's have a look and see what messages I can give to you for this retrograde. Okay, the retrograde. We've got a bunch of cards here. I'm actually just going to take the top card, because I don't really feel drawn to the rest of them. It's a very intuitive thing. So we've got the Fool, we've got the 3 of Cups, and we've got the 9 of Cups as well. Look at that. Okay, so the Fool here shows, it's almost like there's new beginnings, there's the sense of, new chapters, new things opening up for you during the duration of this Pluto retrograde. As I mentioned, Pluto, it's a long retrograde because the planet is further away, and so it's going to be in retrograde for a pretty long time. That being said, you're going to have a lot of new opportunities. The Fool is about new chapters, it's about newness, new things, right? So you're going to have a lot of new opportunities, a lot of new things opening up for you, a lot of progression and a lot of changes. You've got here also the 7 and the 8 of Cups. So this is quite interesting because you've got a lot of cups here, and this shows a lot of emotions. Now again, it's tied to Scorpio. Scorpio is also a water sign. So this shows here that you're really, really going to be thinking a lot, and transformations can be hard. Transformations can definitely make us feel at times very emotional, and we can be like, oh my gosh. But I do feel one thing that's really important is to believe, is to know that, what? If you have a wish, it is about knowing that it takes a certain amount of time to get through it. The thing is, people that are very, very successful as well, or people that have everything that they have ever dreamt of, even for them, it's never been easy. We only really see like the it from the outside. We don't really ever see what's in the inside, and oftentimes it can be really hard. So just know that when you're trying to get to your wish and you're trying to get your desires and your goals with this Nine of Cups, is that it may not be easy, right? The Three of Cups here shows that this is about, a celebration. And I do see that there are new opportunities coming your way, but it may also make you reflect a lot. You may also, for some of you, you may find that things have been really, really difficult, and perhaps you have lost things along the way, and you may have already lost right now. Now, as I'm talking about this whole planet and the retrograde, up until this point, maybe you've lost a job, maybe you've had to walk away from something, maybe there was something that you have lost. It could be money as well. And it's been hard, right? It may have been really, really hard. For some of you, you may just feel emotionally not so great, or very, very all over the place. And that here with the Eight of Cups is really coming through quite significantly, because the Seven and the Eight of Cups literally does showcase a lot of reflection and perhaps even, a loss. And this really is showing to me that it is about how you also deal with that is going to allow you to transform your situation, right? Do not give up. I think that's also quite important. The Fool here shows new opportunities, lots of growth, and it does show that these cups will align perfectly, as we see with the Nine of Cups. So your wish is still going to come true, especially if you've lost something. You will regain your emotions and you will heal as well in some certain situations as well. Especially in loss, that's what I'm seeing. Three of Cups here shows a celebration, and it really does showcase here a significant transformation. See, Nine of Pentacles, independence, strength, confidence. In fact, difficult times are only making you stronger, and I know that's such a frustrating thing to hear because nobody really wants to go through that, but you are definitely finding yourself. You're finding your feet. The Nine of Pentacles is about strength and independence and confidence and big transformations. I mean, you are going to be blooming and growing this year. The year is still very, very long. So again, just something to be pretty aware of is that the year is long, and you will find yourself and you will find your confidence, and you will definitely find your happiness. I do see it. I do indeed. The Chariot. Ta-da! So that is what we have right there. See? At times it may seem really, really hard, and that's okay. I know that it can be hard, but you're allowed to feel your emotions and your feelings, right? In regards to things being difficult, nobody's telling you like, oh no, you shouldn't feel that way. No, of course, from time to time you will feel that, and you're more than entitled to feel those emotions. But I do see here that things will get better as well. So it is about believing and making sure that in time things will get better, but it's okay to feel what you feel. And it's also important to keep your desires, your wishes and your goals on the forefront. And of course, dreams don't work unless we do. So we've got here the Two of Wands, and we've also got the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is about your goals, your dreams, your desires. And then the Two of Wands is really about that balance and looking out and doing research and things like that. I really do feel that a lot of people during this Pluto retrograde time are learning about their dreams and their goals, and they're thinking, wow, okay, what I was doing this entire time wasn't really the thing for me. I want to do more. I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. I want to feel confident. I want to do the things that I have always wanted to do, and I think that is what you're going to do. We've got the King of Swords, Five of Wands, right? This is about you having so much more clarity about your life, especially if you found that, wow, okay, my career just does not suit me, or I'm not really sure about this person in my life. I think that you're going to be gaining so much clarity to turn things around and to realize to yourself, you know what? Okay, this definitely doesn't suit me. This does not make me happy. This does not give me happiness. Therefore, I'm going to move away from the situation. It does not give me anything that I really feel that great about. So I think this is also you turning that around and actually thinking to yourself, right, okay, well, in that case, let me do something for myself. It's bringing a lot of transformations. It's bringing oh gosh, my throat is like okay, got a lot of cards. I feel actually very, very drawn to this card right here. I've just accidentally got a bunch of cards that just came out. Seven of Swords, see? Be very, very aware of scammers and people like that during this time. I lost my thought process. I know that's so frustrating. It must be really frustrating for you, but the King of Swords here really shows that essentially this is really about knowing that there are big transformations. Oh yeah, I know what it's going to say. Big transformations in regards to career. There are big transformations in regards to love. You're just becoming stronger and stronger. You're really realizing your dreams and your goals and your wishes, and you're going to be going towards that. A lot of what has happened also in this whole year in regards to the whole world health situation is making a lot of people realize that, wow, you know, we only live once. I have goals and I have dreams, and so do other people, and I'm going to go towards that. You know, I'm going to believe and I'm going to go towards my dreams and my desires, but this is you working towards that, especially with this Ace of Wands, trying as much as you can, you know, through the obstacles and challenges. Now, during the Pluto retrograde, you may feel confused, you may feel conflicted, you know, at times that is normal, you know, especially when you're going towards dreams and goals. It's not just a clear path towards it. It can take time, it can take patience, it may be frustrating at times as well. But the Seven of Swords here really does show do not give up, but at the same time, the Seven of Swords shows that you may also feel very, very much so this energy of at times maybe being taken advantage of. So it's just something to be aware of and to keep your eyes peeled for. There may be people that try and take away things from you, for example, money, or for example, you see a lot of scams now as well, especially through text messages and emails and phone calls and things like that. Just be really aware of people that do that. I know that it's such like a cliche thing to say, but I definitely feel that's quite important, especially during this time. So yeah, make sure you don't click on any dodgy links or reply to any weird, like, you know, text messages, and also if there are some of those, you know, fake phone calls and that, make sure you don't give out any information whatsoever. It's just so important. So yeah, Seven of Swords definitely does show that as well. Be aware of people that can do that, because that can really transform a lot of things, right? Losing money and losing important information can be such a stressful thing, and it can be very altering, which again is that Pluto energy. So just be aware of that. And of course, people that have no good intentions, make sure you just distance yourself away from those people for a shorter period of time, especially if you can't keep away from them the entire time. I think that's really, really important. So most important thing is to believe, right, in your goals and your dreams and your desires. I see a lot of good transformations, I see a lot of growth, and I do see some things getting better and stronger for you. So this is your reading, and if this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also in the description box below is information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, you know, bracelets and all that good stuff, which is on Etsy if you are interested. As I mentioned, the Retrograde bracelet as well. And yeah, I will see you very, very soon. Take care, everyone.